Do you know what's scarier than wrinkles or gray hair? Losing your muscle. Yes, my friends, it's not just about looking older, it's about becoming weaker, slower, and more dependent. And here's the truth. Bone broth won't save your muscles, but one powerful food can. Sarcopenia, the medical term for muscle loss with aging, isn't just a fancy word. It's a real condition that makes walking harder, climbing stairs exhausting, and even carrying groceries a challenge. It sneaks up on you after the age of 40, and by 70, it can steal up to 30% of your muscle mass. But the good news? You can fight it, and you don't need expensive powders or trendy drinks. You need protein-rich foods that truly nourish your muscles. That here, quote, is the problem. Most people have been misled into thinking that bone broth or collagen supplements are the secret to preserving muscle. It sounds comforting, right? A warm cup of bone broth, full of supposed nutrients, marketed as the magic elixir for your joints, skin, and even muscles. But the truth is, bone broth is little more than flavored water with trace amounts of protein, mostly in the form of gelatin. Gelatin is not the same as complete protein. It is lacking in essential amino acids that your muscles desperately need to grow, repair, and stay strong. That's why you could drink cups and cups of bone broth, yet never actually give your muscles the raw materials they require. The same goes for collagen powders. They may have some use for skin elasticity or joint health, but when it comes to fighting sarcopenia, they simply do not measure up. What makes this problem worse is that many people believe they are doing something good for their health. They buy collagen powders, sip broth, and feel reassured, all while their muscles continue to shrink. Sarcopenia does not happen overnight. It creeps in silently. You may not notice it in your 40s, but by your 60s and 70s, the damage is undeniable. Suddenly, you find yourself struggling to rise from a chair or carry groceries. You wonder why you feel weak, even though you've been following the healthy trends. It's not your fault. It's misinformation. You've been giving your body the wrong tools. Muscle is not built by hype or trendy products. Muscle is built by amino acids, the little building blocks of protein. Your body needs all 9 essential amino acids to create and repair muscle fibers, and it can't make them on its own. They must come from your food. This is where bone broth falls flat. It doesn't deliver enough of those essential amino acids, especially leucine, the one proven to switch on muscle building at the cellular level. Imagine trying to build a brick wall, but half the bricks are missing. That's what happens when you rely on incomplete protein sources. Your body can't finish the job, so your muscles weaken over time. Let's break this down even further. Bone broth typically contains about 5 to 10 grams of protein per cup. Sounds okay at first, right? But those grams are mostly gelatin, which is missing key amino acids like tryptophan and very low in leucine. To stimulate muscle protein synthesis, the process of building and repairing muscle, you need around 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine per meal. That amount can be found in about 25 to 30 grams of complete protein from foods like eggs, chicken, or legumes. You would have to drink gallons of bone broth to even get close, which is simply unrealistic and unhealthy. This is the trap people fall into, focusing on the wrong source while their body goes hungry for the right fuel. This is why it's so important to expose the problem clearly. Sarcopenia is not just a medical term, it's a reality that touches millions of people every year. It's the gradual loss of muscle mass, strength, and function. And the fuel you give your body plays a central role in whether you fight it or feed it. If you are not eating enough high-quality protein, you are feeding sarcopenia. If you are depending on bone broth or collagen, you are falling into a trap that delays real progress. The sad truth is that many older adults, the very people most vulnerable to sarcopenia, are sipping on bone broths, believing it is helping them. Instead, their muscle mass continues to decline. This sets off a dangerous cycle. Less muscle leads to less activity accelerates weakness, and weakness increases the risk of falls, fractures, and hospital stays. All of this can be traced back to one fundamental problem. Your muscles cannot thrive without the complete proteins they need. So, the problem is not just bone broth, it's the mindset around it. It's the belief that one trendy, easy solution can replace real nutrition. It's the marketing that convinces you to spend money on products that don't actually address the root cause of muscle loss. This is why I am telling you clearly, bone broth will not stop sarcopenia. Collagen powders will not protect your strength. The problem is incomplete protein, and the solution is to stop chasing fads and start fueling your body with the real complete proteins that science proves build and preserve muscle. Think for a moment about what muscle loss really means in daily life. It's not just about losing definition in your arms or legs. It's about losing the very strength that allows you to live independently. Sarcopenia makes the simplest activities, walking, climbing stairs, standing up from a chair, or carrying your shopping bags, feel like climbing a mountain. At first, you may notice little changes. You feel more tired than usual, your balance isn't as steady, or your grip feels weaker. These small signs are easy to ignore, but they are early warnings that your muscle mass is shrinking. If you do nothing, those little inconveniences turn into big limitations. Suddenly, everyday life feels harder, slower, and more frustrating. Now, let's look at the bigger picture. When you lose muscle, you're not only losing strength, you're also losing protection. Muscle is like a shield for your body. It supports your joints, protects your bones, and stabilizes your movements. Without it, your risk of falling skyrockets. And when older adults fall, it's not just a bruise. It can mean a broken hip, weeks in the hospital, and months of recovery. In many cases, that single fall becomes the event that changes everything, stealing independence permanently. Sarcopenia is often called the silent thief because it quietly robs you of your strength until one day it announces itself with an accident that could have been prevented. And it's not just your physical ability at stake. Muscle loss impacts your metabolism too. Muscle is an active tissue. It burns calories even while you rest. When you lose it, your metabolism slows down. Suddenly, the same foods you used to eat now lead to weight gain, especially around the belly. This extra fat brings more inflammation into the body, raises blood sugar, and increases the risk of diabetes and heart disease. So sarcopenia is not an isolated problem. It sets off a domino effect, creating more and more health issues over time. That's why it's so important to recognize how deeply it impacts your long-term health. And here's something else to consider. Sarcopenia doesn't just make life harder physically. It also affects your emotional health. When you can't do the activities you love, it's easy to feel discouraged or even depressed. Many people begin to withdraw from social activities because they're afraid of falling, too tired to join in, or embarrassed by their weakness. That isolation further damages health and accelerates decline. In this way, sarcopenia becomes not just a physical condition, but a condition that touches every aspect of life, mental, emotional, and social. Imagine your future self. You want to be able to travel, play with your grandchildren, garden, dance, or simply walk with confidence, or do you picture yourself depending on others for basic needs, feeling trapped in a body that can no longer keep up with your mind and spirit? That vision is shaped by the choices you make today. If you allow muscle loss to continue unchecked, you are choosing a path toward frailty, dependence, and reduced quality of life. If you fight sarcopenia now, you are choosing energy, freedom, and independence for years to come. But here is the good news. This is not an inevitable part of aging. Muscle loss is real, but it can be slowed, stopped, and even reversed. The problem is that most people don't see the warning signs until it's too late. They assume weakness is just part of getting older, but in reality, it is a condition that can be managed and prevented. The key is to understand that your muscles are living tissue. They are constantly being broken down and rebuilt every single day. What you eat, how you move, and the habits you keep determine whether your muscles are gaining strength or slipping away. When you realize the full impact of muscle loss, you begin to see why it is one of the most important health issues to focus on as you age. It's not just about looking fit. It's about staying independent, avoiding falls, keeping your metabolism strong, and living with energy. It's about protecting your future and giving yourself the best chance to enjoy life fully. Sarcopenia steals more than muscle. It steals freedom, and the choices you make today can decide whether that freedom stays in your hands or slips away. So what's the solution to this problem? It's not bone broth, it's not collagen powders, and it's definitely not trendy gimmicks that promise miracles, but deliver little. The real solution is surprisingly simple. Focus on natural, high-quality protein foods that provide your body with the complete set of amino acids it needs. Think of protein as the raw material for building and repairing your muscles, much like bricks and cement for constructing a house. Without the right building blocks, the house cannot stand. In the same way, without complete proteins, your muscles cannot maintain their structure or function. One common mistake people make is spreading too little protein across the day. For example, having just a piece of toast for breakfast, a light salad for lunch, and then loading all the protein at dinner. This doesn't work well for muscle health. Your body can only use a certain amount of protein at one time for building muscle, so the goal should be to eat around 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein at each meal. This pattern ensures that your muscles get consistent signals to repair and grow throughout the day. So instead of toast alone, start the day with eggs or Greek yogurt. At lunch, add beans, lentils, or chicken to your salad. At dinner, make sure there's fish, chicken, or tofu on your plate. These are the practical solutions that work, and they don't require exotic supplements. Let's start with the foods that truly nourish your muscles. Eggs are one of the best options because they contain all 9 essential amino acids in the right balance, making them one of nature's perfect proteins. One large egg gives you about 6 grams of protein along with important nutrients like vitamin D and B12, both of which also support muscle health. Fish, like salmon or tuna, not only provide high-quality protein, but also healthy omega-3 fats that reduce inflammation, protect joints, and improve recovery after exercise. Chicken and turkey are lean protein sources that can be included easily in meals without adding too much fat. And for those who prefer plant-based options, foods like lentils, beans, chickpeas, quinoa, and soy products offer excellent protein when eaten in variety and combination. Among these proteins, one amino acid deserves special attention: leucine. Leucine is the trigger that tells your body it's time to build muscle. Without enough leucine, muscle protein synthesis. The process of creating new muscle doesn't get activated properly. This is why it's so important to include foods that are rich in leucine, like dairy, eggs, meat, and soy. Research shows that older adults who are more resistant to muscle growth actually need more leucine than younger people to stimulate muscle repair and growth. That means you can't just eat a little bit of protein and expect your muscles to respond. You need to provide the right amount and the right type to see results. The best part is that this solution is natural, affordable, and accessible. You don't need to spend extra money on expensive powders or rely on drinks that claim to heal everything. You just need to go back to the basics. Real food, balanced meals, and consistent effort. Eggs, beans, fish, chicken, lentils, yogurt, nuts, and seeds. These are not fancy, but they are powerful. When combined with daily activity, they give your muscles the strength and resilience you need for life. By focusing on these natural solutions, you're not only fighting sarcopenia, but also nourishing your entire body. Protein-rich foods strengthen your immune system, keep your hormones balanced, stabilize your blood sugar, and help you feel satisfied so you avoid unhealthy snacking. It's a win on every level, and unlike fads that fade away, this solution is grounded in science and has stood the test of time. The other part of the solution is movement. Eating protein without using your muscles is like buying bricks but never building the house. Resistance training like lifting weights, body weight exercises, or using resistance bands is essential to complement protein intake. Exercise creates small tears in the muscle fibers, and protein provides the material to repair those tears, making the muscles stronger and bigger over time. Without movement, the body has no reason to use the protein for muscle, and instead it may go to waste. This is why nutrition and exercise are two sides of the same coin. Together they form the powerful strategy to stop and even reverse sarcopenia. If you want to make lasting change, the key is not only knowing what to eat, but also learning how to put these solutions into practice every single day. Knowledge without action does not protect you from sarcopenia. You need simple, realistic steps that fit into your daily routine, because the easier something is to do, the more likely you are to keep doing it. The good news is that building muscle through nutrition doesn't require complicated recipes or expensive ingredients. It starts with small, consistent changes that anyone can make. At lunch, don't settle for a plate of greens alone. Salads are wonderful, but they must be balanced. Add beans, lentils, chickpeas, grilled chicken, tuna, or hard-boiled eggs to turn a simple salad into a muscle-friendly meal. Even if you're eating on the go, it's easy to bring along a container of chickpea salad or a wrap filled with turkey and vegetables. If you work in an office, keeping a pack of roasted chickpeas, nuts, or string cheese in your drawer ensures you never go too long without fueling your body properly. Let's take breakfast, for example. Many people start their day with cereal, toast, or a sweet pastry that might give you energy for an hour or two, but it does very little for your muscles. Imagine flipping that routine around. Instead of just toast, prepare 2 eggs with a side of Greek yogurt and berries. Suddenly, your breakfast provides around 25 grams of protein, which is enough to signal your muscles to begin rebuilding. If you enjoy smoothies, try blending milk or a plant-based alternative with Greek yogurt, spinach, and some nuts or seeds. In less than 5 minutes, you have a protein-packed breakfast that keeps you full and energized for hours. It's also important to plan your meals so that protein is spread throughout the day, rather than piled up at one meal. Studies show that consuming 25 to 30 grams of protein at each meal is far more effective for muscle health than eating little protein at breakfast and lunch, than a huge amount at dinner. This balance gives your muscles steady support all day long. Think of it as sending your muscles regular deposits into their bank account instead of one big payment at the end of the day. Dinner is another opportunity to strengthen your body. Instead of focusing only on the vegetables and starches, make protein the star of your plate. A piece of salmon with roasted vegetables, chicken stir-fried with broccoli, or lentil curry with rice are simple, satisfying, and loaded with muscle-friendly nutrients. For those who enjoy cooking, preparing a pot of beans or lentils at the start of the week makes it easy to add them to meals throughout the week. This preparation ensures you always have a ready supply of protein without having to think too hard about it. Snacks are often overlooked, but they can be a powerful way to boost your protein intake. Replace sugary or empty-calorie snacks with foods that help your muscles. A handful of nuts, roasted edamame, cottage cheese, or even a boiled egg can be prepared ahead of time and carried with you. If you feel hungry in the afternoon or evening, reaching for one of these options will keep you satisfied and protect your muscles at the same time.